It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. Ha! And if I seem less high energy than usual, there's a reason for that. This is not going to be an easy Feedback Friday for me to do because uh, some of the comments on the ninja video I did, my opinions on that whole kerfuffle, well, controversy, it's beyond a kerfuffle at this point, I tried to prepare myself for them, but they hit harder than I expected them to. Some of them really hurt. And I'm being honest about this because this is part of the debate. This is the crux of it for me. That certain people want me to accept that I, as a woman, and only because I am a woman, not because of any individualized or specific behaviors I may do, I must accept that I am going to be granted access to less opportunity on, in this case, Twitch, because something harassment, something Me Too, something men gotta cover their own ass. And one of the things I thought sort of people who followed my content agreed on was the idea of equality of opportunity. And perhaps some people don't realize that those, how do I put it? Those streaming things, when you sort of guest on someone else's channel, that's one of the most effective ways to build your channel. And I mean, I know I've been helped a lot here from, associations with Rich Masushi over at Review Tech USA. Did I say that right? Yeah. Sorry, I just talked to Rich yesterday. Sorry, Rich, if I got your channel wrong. But, some people came over from there, and some people came over from Boogie's channel, and there's still people over from, like, Sargon's channel from back in the day, and V Monroe's channel, and things like that. Yeah, I was on streams with both those guys. And there's not huge audience crossover in some of those cases, but every time I went somewhere, I built an audience. And the people who, and it wasn't just, I disagree with you, it's, you should reconsider. I certainly hope you reconsider. Well, I did reconsider based on Ninja's follow-up comments about what he was talking about was harassment. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'll get to that in a minute, but I am even more certain that I disagree with how he chose to deal with what is a very real issue. No one likes the reality that people start completely false rumors. No one likes the idea that people are going to talk shit about us just because we decide to put our faces on the internet in Publix. But this has been a reality of being some sort of public figure as long as there has been public figures. When I used to work in music programming, God, every time some boy band, there was a rumor they were dating somebody, people freaked out. I mean, God, I remember way back in the day with one of the New Kids on the Block, I don't remember, was involved with Tiffany, the singer. Yeah, I think we're alone now. And people went crazy. And people sent mean stuff about Tiffany and, all that stuff. It happens. And this has got me thinking a lot about perhaps this whole e-celeb thing is, all of the shitty parts of celebrity without the real money. Though guys like Ninja make pretty good coin, from what I understand. So I really, really think it goes too far to call people suggesting you flirted with someone. And people got really mad at me for saying just don't flirt. I stand by those comments as somebody who's been married for going on 20 years. you can have a marriage and associate with people of the opposite sex and not have all hell break loose. Really. Like, really. But the idea that people spreading rumors, the idea that is severe enough harassment to curtail your behavior, is that what we've come to? I mean, is that where we're at? And if that's where we're at, if you guys are standing by the fact that it makes sense that someone should not bring on totally valid guests, that, you know, Ninja did a shout out to 3 female streamers that he supports but won't have on his channel because they're female, or won't have on streams. He did some convoluted thing. But the other thing I find weird about his response is, I'm concerned about harassment against me and my wife, so I'm going to make a contentious statement to a reporter on a website with a very clear political agenda that's going to make the maximum amount of hay about this. That doesn't make any sense to me. So to people who asked me to reconsider, I have reconsidered based on his follow-up. Because like I said, I was willing to give him a chance, because I said in the video, this did not seem like a well thought out written statement. This was an off the cuff comment at a party. And his written statement has left me more confused. And people criticized me for making it more about the culture of Twitch in general, specifically the whole thought culture. Now, some people did comment more productively, and I learned a lot of stuff about some of the issues with people with, you know, the whole Twitch thought thing. That one person told me that guys actually get in trouble for doing things shirtless, and then, you know, women are practically in their underwear and get away with it for some weird reason. That is a totally fair double standard that I agree. If that's so, I don't watch those kinds of Twitch channels. But if that's so, that's wrong. That's a wrong double standard. That ain't right. Twitch has some work to do. Every social media platform has good things about it and bad things about it, and we need to be able to talk about it. But the people that knee-jerked like crazy, I know some people here are new, but if one thing drives me crazy, it's knee-jerking. And when people do things, I disagree with everything you have said here. Okay, so you disagree that I don't want to be too hard on Ninja, because I said that a few times. So you disagree with that. Okay. You disagree with my suspicions about Polygon and my accusations of hypocrisy against Polygon. You disagree with that. Really. You don't think that they use this story, which is an offhanded comment at a party that they knew was going to blow up on him. You didn't think that that was used to further Polygon's very clear political agenda. Really, you disagree with that part. You disagree with the fact that, you know, women who provide legitimate entertainment, even if it's sexualized, they should be treated like legitimate entertainers. You really disagree with that part. No, you were mad at a few comments I made that triggered you, and you said something you didn't mean. And this entire phenomenon of, I'm going to avoid doing some things, I'm going to cut huge portions out of the content I am going to do because I don't want to get harassed. That's a race to the damn bottom, and I stand by that. I wouldn't have even had done that Ninja video. The thing about Ninja not streaming with me, I wouldn't have done the original thing if I weren't prepared to accept some blowback. And I said right at the beginning, I'm doing this very reluctantly because the cake is pretty baked. But sometimes you have to take risks just to preserve and promote free discourse. And I believe in that very strongly. That, I think that bothers me more than the idea that, there are streamers out there who won't stream with women because something girlfriend, something wife. I think there are plenty of guys that do that. Ninja was just brave / dumb enough to say it to Polygon. I think that's where it became dumb. It was Polygon. You're concerned about harassment and you said something involving women that is contentious to Polygon. That makes no sense to me. I stand by my original statements. And if you can't disagree without completely freaking out, that's on you, not me. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And yeah, I am going a lot harder on this than I normally do, because I felt like a lot of the comments were not fair. And I felt like people kept telling me I was getting Ninja wrong. I was reading from the screen that I was twisting his words. I was reading from the screen what he said. I showed the article. I showed the original article that I originally saw it on the BBC. I went to Polygon, which I normally don't do, to show the original article. I did not twist his words. You just didn't like my opinion. And damn it, we have to collectively be better than that. And I'm not saying this because this is some, radical feminist issue or because I'm on a soapbox or something like that. This hurts everybody. Shut up, phone. This hurts everybody. Straight white guys and gay black guys and trans Latinx people. If we can't have discussions without everything going to shit, then we can't have discussions, period. And I have a problem with that. And this is where I'm going to become nice. So after that little 10-minute rant, because I had to get that off the chest, because that's part of my truth here, I want to try to see the other side, because what I read through all the shit that was coming at me was a huge amount of pain, a lot of very personal trauma that came bubbling up. And I got the sense that a lot of people weren't talking about Ninja anymore. They were talking about stuff that happened to them at some point. This is a very personal issue for a lot of guys that just don't flirt thing. I don't know what's going on in the lives of younger people that people can perceive flirting where there is none. I completely believe that's happened in certain cases, because a lot of people, especially younger people, are completely inauthentic, don't ask you for clarification. They just jump to conclusions and go roast you on social media. I totally believe that happens, but it's wrong. And the answer is to say that's wrong and to fix that behavior, not to all start curbing our freedoms of expression because we're worried about getting roasted by a hater. I mean, the people that either flat out said I didn't understand or suggested that I don't know what it's like to be the victim of malicious gossip or slander. I've been kill streamed multiple times, okay? I'm not going to mention current events, but I've been there. I've been in that hot seat, and it was all completely false. It was completely fabricated. It was taking comedy routines I did and claiming they were serious lectures because the venue happened to be a lecture hall at Ryerson College, or it's a university now, Ryerson University. Just because it was in a lecture hall, no, I was lying about it being a comedy event. It was serious. Even though you can hear the audience laughing in the video, they know people are not going to watch a 2-hour event. They just jumped to the timestamp provide, and people can be deceived by their own eyes. I know that. Oh, my OBS is acting up. This computer's being a jerk. But sorry for that freeze frame. So I do feel very passionately about this, but I understand more than you guys have posted the negative comments. I understand a lot more than you think I do. And I hope you will continue to give me a chance, because I understand you're speaking through emotions and that's totally valid. But what you think is going on here is not going on here. It just triggered a lot of painful emotions in a lot of guys. And how do I say this? This is not the venue to talk about those, to unpack that. We do have to find one. And so even though, sorry, I came out hard at the top of this video, I do understand that. I do understand that that pain is real. I do understand that people have had bad experiences. They are valid. They are unfair. People are not given a chance to explain themselves nearly often enough before, the masses on social media jump. And it could be even more personal than that. It could be people in their real life who smeared them. That's totally fair. I totally get why you're upset by that. Just don't let it cause you to do to others what you don't want done to you, which is, twist their words and smear them and stuff like that. So hopefully that's enough being in listening mode. And even though, I was hit pretty hard by those comments, hopefully you guys can see that at least I see the other side. That's all you can really ask of me when you're going to come at me that hard. Now, in fairness, the likes, the thumbs ups on that video still outweigh the dislikes. Not quite 2-to-1, but at this point, fairly close. So, more people agreed with me than disagreed with me who had any opinion whatsoever. And that's important for me to remember. And I had to sort of talk myself down. I went and did something quite physical. It's one of my rip and tear exercises. I like Doom for a reason, but shredding things, a ripping sound, makes me feel a lot better. And it helped me have more perspective because, man, 2 days ago, I was like, rah! I was just like angry at the world. And that's what happens when people come at you with anger. We're humans. We have mirror neurons. We react. And so this pain is real. We have to do something about it. We have to find a way to heal it instead of just smacking it around at each other like this, match of Splatoon of anger and despair. Well, I was just like blah, 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 flinging sadness and anger ink at each other, blah, 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 and they're swimming through it. They're just wallowing in the fear. It's like angry tune, like grrr. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I think I've said my piece. The other two videos were a lot tamer in terms of the response. A lot of people were like, Omarosa, who, thank God, there were still people who didn't know who Omarosa was. I got some really interesting information from somebody who works in government about how the Situation Room, because it's a collection of rooms, not a single room, how it actually works and how the media has actually misrepresented how it works. What this person explained to me is that there's areas that are like locked down all the time. You can't bring anything in. They're permanent SCIFs, secured compartmentalized information. I forget the F. Facility. Aha. But they're permanent. You can't ever bring a cell phone in. But then apparently there are other meeting rooms within the Situation Room area that are sometimes classified and sometimes not classified. And when it's not being used for a classified purpose, you can bring a cell phone in. And so it is possible that Omarosa was fired in the Situation Room, didn't violate national security, and recorded the conversation. Because if it's not classified, it doesn't matter where you are. It's one-party consent. So that's that. Somebody posted an interesting thing on the Alex Jones thing, and it came down to me using a colloquialism, because I try to allow, the maximum number of people to understand me. I don't like using, because I used to be very academic in the way I spoke because I was aiming for precision and people couldn't stand that. So I colloquialized the way I explain concepts, and it usually works much better. But in this case, someone brought up the Brandenburg test for free speech exceptions and checked me on the incitement to panic. It's incitement to imminent lawlessness, and they argued that nothing Alex Jones did pass that test. And Then, CNN, among other places, went through Alex Jones's tweets, and he's now suspended. I think it's interesting what a difference a week makes. But that commenter is absolutely right about the specificity that and what's the difference. Well, panic, as they explained it, is an emotion. Imminent lawlessness means an action that you commit based on being not in your right mind. And I still think that with the internet, you can incite people to get violent. I mean, just look at what happened. I know I'm bringing up a thing that some people are going to be upset about, but look at what happened with Gen Con and the quartering, and a guy taking a shot at him because of internet stuff. That is lawlessness, and it passes the Brandenburg test because he did it. I mean, it wasn't immediate in terms of it was said and then he acted on it, but the minute he had a chance, he acted on it. He had a chance to take a crack at the guy, and he did it. So God, I had it here. It's imminent, likely, intended, likely, and imminent. And so that's an example. The guy punching the quartering, that's an example of how we are learning more and more that it is likely that it's not just words if you whip people up enough. The imminent test, like I said, it's a trickier one because you're not right face to face. Normally that means you say something and somebody goes and punches you. But I do think that you can whip people up to the point where the first chance they get, they'll take a crack at someone. And I really do think, like, for instance, if people think someone is a pedophile, the first chance they get, a normally sane person will just lose it and attack that person. I do think the internet can do that. So I do still think there are exceptions based on getting people hurt, and there are discussions that have to be had. But I appreciate anybody who prefers specificity. I do too. Sometimes colloquialisms are just so things don't sound too lectury. I know I don't like it when words are peppered, speech is peppered with things like problematic, trying to sound smarter than it actually is. You gotta speak to people in a way they're gonna understand, right? But that's pretty much it. There were a lot of other comments. Somebody gave me some really great advice on what a Twitch channel reasonably can be, what it can't be, that I will likely take to heart and apply once I get over this like recent bad experience. Right now I don't want to go anywhere near Twitch because it's like, my God, what is going on in that community? Shining example of how, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and everybody's so concerned about harassment of women that this woman is like, why would I even want to sign up for that? Why would I want to put myself there if it's that bad? And that is generally my problem, the problem I have with the debate, the dialogue surrounding harassment of women in gaming. It just serves to drive women away. And there's a lot of positives in this industry, in this community for women, and that pisses me off. I don't like it being used as a shield or a way to get clicks. I really don't. But Midnight's destroying something over there. But that's why I'm going to leave it for this week. I am shooting a Lady Bits on the weekend, so there might be content on Monday. I know it's early, but I'm trying to get the last two done for various reasons that I'm not ready to talk about publicly yet. But I forgot to do this before because there didn't seem the right time. Help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Leanna K. It helps so much because apparently Guys are afraid to stream with me because people will think we're sleeping with each other even when I'm in a different country. So I'm on my own. Sarcasm, sarcasm. I am not being serious there. But support is appreciated because it is hard to get a following, and it is hard to get it, especially for people who are just starting. Like, my God, that's part of what drives me crazy. We need more different kinds of voices. We need more, not less. And if people are shutting themselves off because they're afraid, that's not healthy for the community in general. And I still think it's 2018, guys. It ain't just women guys might be flirting with. Just saying. But anyway, have a good weekend. To those who got mad at me, hopefully this helped a little bit. Probably not. You're just going to have to get unmad. But I do hear you. I do understand. I do recognize that sometimes things just trigger. But, jeez. All right. Thanks for watching.